Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're doing well. We're continuing our reading of Dante Alighieri's Inferno. Let's begin. Go ahead and listen to this as you are washing the dishes, nursing your baby, changing a diaper, whatever fun thing it is that you're doing. Let's begin. We are in Canto 6. Alright. The third circle, the gluttonous, Cerebus, the eternal rain, Chacho, and Florence. At the return of consciousness that closed, before the pity of those two relations, which utterly with sadness had confused me, now torments, I behold a new tormented around me, whichsoever way I move, and whichsoever way I turn and gaze. In the third circle am I of the rain, eternal, maledict, and cold and heavy. Its law and its quality are never new. Well, so here we have a very different feeling going on. Cold and heavy. Huge hail and water somber-hued, and snow. Athwart the tenebrous air pour down amain. Noisome the earth is, that receiveth this. Cerebrous monster, cruel and uncouth, with his three gullets like a dog is barking, over the people that are there submerged. So there's people submerged in some type of water or under the elements, because it says pour down amain, so it's like snow, some type of liquid going on there, and there seems to be a creature. It's like very uncouth, it's very cruel, who's very loud. Sort of barking aspect, this annoyance going on, and it's over the people there. Red eyes he has, an unctuous beard and black, and belly large, and armed with claws his hands. He rends the spirits, flays and quarters them. Now this one is very, very deep. These just red piercing eyes, right? And then fat stomach, so it's kind of gross. And claws as hands, right? Very sharp nails or whatnot. Now, flays. I don't know if you know what flaying is. Think of Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones. The slicing and peeling, like if you were getting leather from a cow, right? You're skinning it, essentially. And quarters, so being flayed and then quartered, so arms coming off. Next, you have your legs. You get the point, right? So this is a very intense scene here. How the rain marketh them like unto dogs. One side they make a shelter for the other. Oft turn themselves the wretched reprobates. When Cerebrus perceives us, the great worm, his mouth he opened, and displayed his tusks. Not a limb had he that was motionless. Now this is really intense here. So this character, Cerebrus, he opens his mouth and things are wiggling there. And tusks. So think of how they have these orc characters, like there's like these giant kind of teeth coming out. You know, like a warthog's tusks. But think of like a boar. Like a wild boar. Some of them have these long teeth sticking out. So we call those kinds of things tusks. So it's a very gruesome, ugly creature. Yeah. So imagine just this loud, cruel, red-eyed, bloated creature that's flaying people and then has limbs in his stuck between his teeth like last night's dinner, wiggling around. It's very terrifying. And my conductor with his spans extended took of the earth, and with his fist well filled he threw it into the rapacious gullets, such as the dog is, who by barking craves, and quiet grows soon as his food he gnaws. For to devour it, but he thinks and struggles. The like became those muzzles, filth begrimed, and Cerberus the demon, who so thunders over the souls that they would fain be deaf. So they would fain be deaf. So he thunders is very loud. When you think of thunder, think about how long that noise stretches for. So these people were wishing their ears would stop working just so they could not hear the demon Cerberus in hell, tormenting them so. Very scary. We passed across the shadows which subdues the heavy rainstorm, and we placed our feet upon their vanity that person seems. They all were lying prone upon the earth, excepting one, who sat upright as soon as he beheld us passing on before him. O thou art conducted through this hell, he said to me, recall me if thou canst. Thyself wast made before I was unmade. We're about in line 43. And I to him the anguish which thou hast, perhaps doth draw thee out of my remembrance, so that it seems not I have ever seen thee. But tell me who thou art, that in so doleful a place art put, and in such punishment, if some are greater, none is so displeasing. And he to me, thy city which is full of envy, so that now the sack runs over, held me within it the life serene. You citizens were wont to call me Chacho, Chiafacho, I don't know, Chacho, Chiacho, for the pernicious sin of gluttony. The pernicious sin of gluttony. I once had a chef who I worked for, two of them actually, who were very gluttonous. And when you're around a real glutton, you can see just how evil it is. Someone's stuffing their face as you're hungry and they don't offer you anything. They're constantly eating like a fat pig, always yelling and being demanding. There's different types of gluttons, but one in particular type of glutton is the really rude kind, who are very uncouth and piggish. It's really unpleasant. I, as thou seest, am battered by this rain, and I, sad soul, am not the only one, for all these suffer the like penalty, for the like sin, and word no more spake he. I answered him, Checho, thy wretchedness weighs on me, so that it to weep invites me. But tell me if thou knowest to what shall come. The citizens of the divided city, if any there be just, and the occasion, tell me why so much discord has assailed it. Notice how he wants to cry a lot. He feels sorry for them. Really, really interesting. And he to me, they, after long contention, will come to bloodshed, and rustic party will drive the other out with much offense. Then afterwards behoves it this one fall within 3 suns, and rise again the other by force of him who now is on the coast. Line 70. High will it hold its forehead a long while, keeping the other under heavy burdens. However, it weeps thereat and is indignant. The just are two, and are not understood there. Envy and arrogance and avarice. Doesn't sound very pleasant. And the 3 sparks that have all hearts enkindled. Here ended he his tearful utterance, and I to him, I wish thee still to teach me, and make a gift to me of further speech, make a gift to me of further speech. So just really acknowledging the fact that the more he listens, the more it's like a gift of advice. Farinata and Tegiahau, once so worthy, Jacopo Rustitucci, Arrigo, and Mosca, and others who on good deeds set their thoughts. Say where they are, and cause that I may know them, for great desire constraineth me to learn, if heaven doth sweeten them, or hell and venom. And they are among the blacker souls, a different sin downweighs them to the bottom. If thou so far descendeth, thou canst see them. But when thou art again in the sweet world, I pray thee to the mind of others bring me. No more I tell thee, and no more I answer. Then his straightforward eyes he turned askance, eyed me a little, and then bowed his head. He fell therewith prone, like the other blind, and the guide said to me, Virgil that is, he wakes no more, this side the sound of the angelic trumpet, when shall approach the hostile potentate. Each one shall find again his dismal tomb, shall reassume his flesh and his own figure, shall hear what through eternity re-echoes. So we pass onward o'er the filthy mixture of shadows and of rain with footsteps slow, touching a little on the future life. Wherefore I said, Master, these torments here, will they increase after the mighty sentence, or lesser be, or will they be as burning? And he to me, return unto thy science, which wills that as the thing more perfect is, the more it feels of pleasure and of pain, albeit that this people maledict, to true perfection never can attain, hereafter more than now they look to be. Round in a circle by that road we went, speaking much more, which I do not repeat. We came unto the point where the descent is. There we found Plutus, the great enemy. Wow, Plutus. So, the gluttons. So the next one is Canto 7. That would be the fourth circle. This was the third circle. Talking about a divided city, put with much discord. We've got some characters who we don't really know their names and history. But this monster is really freaky. Cerberus sounds pretty scary. Imagine just seeing a monster like that would not be very fun. Would not want to witness something being flayed and quartered, I'll tell you that very much. The thing I like so far about this book is the imagery, the sound, the smell. Because oftentimes atheists mock conceptions of hell. So what I like about this one is the fact that it makes you like get a little afraid. Now, if we can get a little afraid with imaginations of a poet, imagine what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in store for people, as he warns us in the Quran. We can never imagine fully what it is because it is the unseen. And whatever we think, it's far smaller than what actually is, because our minds cannot conceive of something outside of its realm so much. Similar to an ant not understanding my PlayStation. A guinea pig not understanding economics. It's just a total different system that is outside our capacity. But just the human mind coming up with different forms of what they perceive as hellish makes you really ponder upon how terrifying that abode must really be. May Allah save us and preserve us and help us get into Jannah. This Cerberus character sounds something very terrifying. No bueno, señores. Alright, that was Canto 6. I hope you enjoyed. By the way, if you'd like to join my blog, it's www.subscribestar.com/MilahanArchive. I post a lot of interesting things on there, all kinds of content. So join, less trolls, and you're part of a community, and it's more exclusive, so people who are there want to be there, which is a lot different than YouTube, where people are there just because they're there. So hopefully you join us, and take care.